stand by. We are no longer sponsored by them. Today we have a new co-host that will start alongside me and Dazzers. Say hello, talk of the Toon.
Hello.
Who's your favourite musician?
Joe Weller.
Make sure you find out more about Talk of the Toon in the upcoming Meet the Co-host video. Who's your favourite football team?
Newcastle.
And we also have one quick thing we want to say. Happy birthday to
Declan Rice and Adam Clayton.
Yep, so it's their birthday it is. And now I'm going to pass you on to your main host from North East of England, Middlesbrough, Donald Johnson.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me on as usual. It's Donald Johnson from Middlesbrough, North East of England today. And as I say, happy birthday to Adam Clayton. Obviously, I'm a fellow Borough fan, so I know Adam Clayton very, very well. Very top quality midfielder for Borough. And that's it. We've got a couple of topics we are going to talk about. Obviously, Leeds United with the spine stuff with Derby County. We've got David Wagner, obviously, with Huddersfield. Hudson-Odoi linked to to Bayern Munich. Mike Ashley, Newcastle stuff. And obviously the Premier League bottom half. And they're the 5 topics we're going to start. So, yeah, thanks for having me on as usual, Joe. And thanks for doing that intro. So, as I say, without further ado, let's get straight into business. So, number one, obviously, is going to be Leeds United. Now, Leeds United's Marcelo Bielsa, the manager, sent a spy, one of his colleagues, actually, as a spy, sent him over to the Derby County training session. Now, I think it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable on his behalf. And obviously, Leeds United, I think, will probably get fined for doing it. However, it's not illegal, but it's not ethical what he's done either. I still think it was a bit of a daft idea at the same time. And I think, obviously, he did that so that they had a more advantage over Derby County, so that Bielsa knew what the weaknesses were in Derby County's squad and what the strengths were.
Yeah, because Frank Lampard just recently had his wife stalked. So, like, and
That's a very serious issue, obviously.
So, like, that might have been, like, they didn't understand.
Wow.
So, not only does it get to them tactically, but it could also get to them mentally as well.
You don't expect, like, they're not going to be, Frank Lampard's not going to be on the training pitch screaming, right, we're going to play 4-3-3, you're playing right back, you're playing up front, you're playing on left wing.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's quite a strange affair, because it's not really, you don't really hear about it much. Obviously, it may be more common, but this is the first time it's really been shed light on it to it. But really, it's quite a rare occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dodgy.
Yeah.
Dodgy, yeah.
That could happen over clubs, like.
Like, imagine if that happens, though. Like, I know there was some controversy about it, but say that happens days before the Champions League final or maybe the World Cup final, something along those lines. There will be uproar about it. Potentially, something major could happen.
I think, like, if you maybe go, like, where the players come out, but maybe, like, bring, like, say if you have a son, bring him with you, so it doesn't look as...
Don't give me tips, Tarek, of the Toon.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah.
Apparently he did it with Argentina in the World Cup qualifiers. So, but the thing is, though, if Marcelo Bielsa somehow, I don't know how, manages to get away with this, the question on everyone's lips will be, how many more managers are going to try doing that?
Yeah, exactly. That's immediately, the second I saw the news, that's what was playing on my mind. Because if one does this, that just encourages more and more people to end up doing it.
Yeah, precisely.
That could really become a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm. So we can all agree that it wasn't ethical what he did, but it should be an illegal rule. It should not be accepted, and it shouldn't be allowed by the FA. And I think the FA are going to take matters into their own hands. And I think come the start of next season, the rules will change on that because they won't accept all that.
Yeah, I do agree. I think this could be maybe, it could raise awareness for this issue that, for all we know, could be going on all the time. It's not maybe as much in the public eye.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that one. So we can all say that Leeds pretty much got an advantage, which shows that I'd say for me that they were cheating if you put it like that. Basically, a lot of fans have said that he should be fined. The club should be deducted points. I don't think that would actually happen, But I do think a fine would probably be on the cards. And
I think,
not only that,
I don't think the club will get fined. I think it will mainly be the manager that gets fined.
yeah, and not only that, Marcelo Bielsa, in his post-match interview before the Derby County game, he admitted that it was the wrong thing to do, and he realised.
Didn't he say he sent him and he accepts all full responsibility?
But something like that. Yeah, something along those lines. Anyway, number 2, Sandro Wagner. I nearly said wrong one. David Wagner has left Huddersfield Town due to mutual consent. Now, Huddersfield Town, as we all know, are currently sat bottom in the Premier League table on 11 points. Last season, they had a pretty decent season, stayed up. This season, now it's gone right for them. 15 defeats from 22 matches and only 2 wins in that period. That, for me, is definitely probably League One quality.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a shame because David Wagner, he's normally a good manager. I mean, he had a couple of successful times with Huddersfield, won them the playoff final, got them into the Premier League, beating United as well. So I think it's a bit of a shame he's went, but at the same time, I think Huddersfield Town and him, I think it had to happen.
Yeah.
Had to
What's
happen.
happened to them this year is exactly what I expected to happen to them when it first came up.
I think if anyone's going to get the job, it's going to be Pardew, Allardyce, or Moyes. When they're through coming.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. True. But as I said, Moyes has been linked with. He was linked with. Who was he linked with? Fulham, was it, or someone like that in the Premier League because of how poor they were doing. I know he was also linked with. Yeah. I know he's also linked. He was also linked with one of the Championship clubs as well. I think it might have been the Royals.
He might end up going.
Yeah. Reading.
Who?
The Royals in the Championship.
Yeah, who are they?
Reading FC.
Whedon?
Yeah, I can't pronounce my R's, mate.
Reading. Oh, Reading.
Yeah, I always say it as it's spelt. That's something that I've. It's happened my entire life. So, yeah. The Blues from Berkshire. There you go. If you want to say it. What are your thoughts on David Wagner?
Well, I think he's a great manager. He reminds me I like to describe him as a big Ted Jurgen Klopp. He worked from Bayern, was it? That they worked together, I believe.
Played with each other too.
Yeah, they did play with each other. Good point. So yeah, they do go quite far back. So they obviously have very similar coaching styles. But I think it just shows if you have a board that fully supports you, which to be honest, I don't think the Huddersfield board necessarily did.
Yeah.
I do think you can take football to another level, and I think if maybe, I know probably not, if the United board had given Mourinho a bit more backing and money, he probably would have done a bit better at least. Like, I know they gave him a lot of money, but he didn't really have free choice over his transfers.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them were probably PR moves by Ed Woodward.
Yeah.
Because there's been countless managers since Ferguson who's Ed Woodward clearly, how we can make that many good managers bad.
Looking at it now, but I think if you're a Man United fan, probably want Solskjaer.
Solskjaer.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask your opinions on that actually, Daz. Who do you want permanently? Would you take Solskjaer or whatever he's called, or would you rather have maybe someone else?
Well, at the minute I'd happily have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as our permanent manager, especially the way we're playing a minute.
I have to ask, is it just a good run of form from some of the players, or is it a managerial masterclass?
Well, I think since Jose's gone, we have seen a lot of improvements from players. Pogba, I think the relationship between him and Jose Mourinho obviously didn't work out, and it obviously, it affected his confidence when playing. So since he left, he's been a better player than we've ever seen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now,
I don't think he wanted to play for the manager philosophy.
That could be the case. As I say, I'm not entirely sure what was going on with him at the time, but all I could assume was it was the relationship between him and Jose. But on the question that you asked there about Solskjaer, I want Solskjaer as permanent manager if we get to the top 4. But the only issue is I can't see us keeping him because he'll probably go back to Mulder. Because Mulder, as I said, they want him back, as soon as the season finishes if they can. But if United try and sign him permanently, then he's going to be staying at United, isn't he? But
Yeah, I
think.
before that you want to stay permanently as well.
They've only signed him on loan.
Yeah, I know. He's the interim manager, so I don't think we'll keep hold of him now, which is a bit annoying, but I don't think we'll keep hold of him. And I think if we are going to bring someone else in, there's been rumours about Gareth Southgate, which I don't want.
Surely as an England fan though as well, you probably don't want him because it takes away from that England squad as well and the potential that's there.
Yeah, so I think he'd be better off staying as England manager. There's only 2 names I can remember at the minute that we're still linked with: Sedan and Jardim, the ex-manager from Monaco who got sacked just because they were bottom of the league, and they're not doing that much better under Thierry Henry. So I want Solskjaer to stay permanently, but I can't see us keeping him. I think that's all we can talk about in a minute. Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think, is a right. Is he a left winger or is he a right winger for Chelsea?
He's both. I think he's both.
He can play both then. It's still been linked with Bayern Munich, even though Bayern got told off publicly by Maurizio Sarri because we kept sending bids in for him. You can tell that Bayern definitely want him, and this is because apparently Ribery and Robin are both leaving at the end of the season. Not sure if it's one's retiring.
Well, I think if you look at what's happened to Reece Nelson and Jadon Sancho,
he's probably seen Sancho and Nelson and thought that's the best move for my career. Because obviously they both flourished over in Germany compared to how they were playing.
No, I think Nelson will come back over England and probably be in and out of the Arsenal.
But I think Sancho could stay there for quite some time.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah. True. But also, even though we're talking about Hudson-Odoi, but Bayern have also been linked with trying to sign Alvaro Morata. I do not want him because, but he's pretty much, no offence to any Chelsea fans, but he's pretty much what you call a rich man's Romelu Lukaku.
A rich man's?
Yeah.
You're a poor man.
Well, pretty much the same thing. He's just as bad. He's just as bad as Lukaku. What? Oof, Hosselu. And there goes my cup. Hosselu. I don't know too much about Hosselu, to be honest with you. Like your cart horse. Well, you never know, but I don't think Bayern are linked with him. Yeah. Anyway, so Hudson-Odoi, I think, it would be good. Upcoming prospect for Bayern Munich if we do manage to sign him, which I don't think we will, considering Sarri's told the board off a lot of the times for trying to sign him. I just don't think he would actually suit our style of play, though. I know he's not having the most successful time at Chelsea, but I think he'd be better off staying at Chelsea. So, for me.
Yeah, I think he'd be better off going to Bayern. Really, they probably are more willing to play youngsters than Chelsea are. Did you see what happens to youngsters?
Yeah.
They have more players loaned out than in the first team squad.
But I think Hudson-Odoi is mainly a left winger, and the issue with that is I know we're looking trying to sign him like trying to get the deal done now and then bringing him to Bayern after the season's finished in Germany, which I'm not sure if that's actually in May or whether it's come the end of April.
Well, no matter what, we'll be due in the transfer window. So.
Well, yeah, as I said, we've got the other transfer window as well to worry about as well. So
I don't think Chelsea have made any illegal approaches for him, have they?
I don't think so. But the issue with Hudson-Odoi is, I think his main position is normally left wing. Now we have a couple of left wingers. I think we have. No, we don't have Kingsley Coman, isn't he? I thought Coman was still at Juventus. Coman's still at Juventus, isn't he? Or has he moved back?
He keeps getting injured for some reason, Coman. It's to the point where he's considering retirement.
Oh, that's it. Serge Gnabry. We've also got Ribery, who I think is retiring. So we'll have Serge Gnabry. We'll probably have Serge Gnabry as our number one left wing, which I'll be honest with you, or left mid, should I say? Which I'll be honest with you, I think we could do with Hudson-Odoi. Then we got a backup. We got a backup left midfield or left winger, which I don't know whether he'd suit Bayern style of play better or not. But I'd say we can talk more about that in the actual future when the deal's, if it's even done or not. Mike Ashley, and this is where talk of the Toon comes into business. You hate Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
Any reasons why?
Just all Newcastle want is maybe every transfer window like 40, 50 million, and then they'll give us like 20, and then we have to bring in like we brought in like Muto, who I don't think Rafa even wanted, and then Shah for 3.5. It's just Rafa's on a really tight budget.
It's not the money that Rafa Benitez should be getting. Rafa Benitez, right, and I know for a fact he's one of the world's greatest managers. Of course, not as good as Jose Mourinho ever was, back in the future. But obviously, he had success at Liverpool before. He's had success with a lot of teams, and Chelsea as well. I forgot he was in charge of Chelsea before, and for me, for him going to Newcastle, he's done well for Newcastle in a minute, but he doesn't suit Newcastle United in the Premier League. I mean, he's just not. I don't think it's the right manager for Newcastle when they're in the Premier League because they seem to be struggling. I mean, 4 wins from 22, and that's only 2 more wins than Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, so let's have talk of the team. Are you Rafa out?
No, Rafa in.
What was that? Speak on the please.
Rafa in.
Rafa in.
Okay.
Sorry, Ricky came out to well said Rio Ferdinand as he made a comment about the club. Newcastle fans should be happy. He came out and said, if Rafa loves Newcastle, as he says, spends some of his own money, he's got enough. Management is about teamwork. Why should it be Ashley? Buy it. It's still for sale. We're in the bottom 3 and Rafa's responsible. He's picking the teams. So there he comes out and he's saying that it's not Ashley who should be spending the money, it's Rafa. But Ashley's the owner, so I don't know where that all came from.
Well, I would suggest a financial takeover. To be honest with you. Either that or
buy it from the catalogue, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm not as in that. Either that or get a different owner, or Mike Ashley gives Rafa Benitez at least 60 million because 20 million is not enough for a Premier League side. Yeah, they might be in the bottom 3, but come on, can you sign anyone who's Premier League quality for 20 million? Can you sign anyone from the Premier League that's less than 20 million? No.
16 season, we were in the bottom 3 this time. We went to spend 50 million in January.
Yeah.
So it's funny, I'm going to do that again. But can't see it happening.
Definitely, yeah. So there you go. You've heard it from a Newcastle fan there who's experienced everything under Mike Ashley. You can tell he's Mike Ashley out, but he's Rafa Benitez in. So shows he's still keeping his faith in them. Now, the final topic that I think the final topic was, which is left, is the bottom 10 in the Premier League. And we're not going to go from Everton, which is 10th. We're not going to go from there. So, the bottom 3 mainly is what we're going to talk about. Or should I say the bottom 5? Bottom 3, obviously, Huddersfield, as I say, parted company with David Wagner. They're currently on a very poor run of form. 4 defeats out of 5 during their last game at Cardiff City on 11 points. Fulham are just above them, albeit they were 1-0 up from a brilliant goal from Andre Schürrle. What a goal it was. And then they absolutely messed it up with 2 own goals.
Yeah, Burnley won that game with 0 shots on target.
So that shows that, own goals can doom you. 14 points they are now, so they're 3 ahead of Huddersfield. 4 points ahead is Newcastle United. The Magpies struggling. Obviously, probably financially and possibly tactically as well. Obviously, their most recent defeat, if I can't remember what their most recent defeat was. I know their other defeat was against United. That was back on New Year's Day. To Chelsea, that's it. I mean, they have had a bit of a bad run of form when it comes to actually having big teams against them. I mean, you've been up against United and Chelsea. I mean, obviously you got Cardiff next, I think, which you should be.
That's what you call a relegation.
It is a relegation battle because Cardiff is 17th, 1 point above Newcastle.
Hopefully not another draw,
It probably will be a draw. 16th is Southampton. Got a very surprising 2-1 win at Leicester City. James Ward-Prowse penalty, and then a goal late on in the first half, which made it, I think, 2-0. And everyone was saying that, Leicester City are pretty much the kings at scoring goals in the second half, and they only scored 1. And they moved up onto 19 points outside the relegation zone. They're on the same points as Cardiff, 1 point ahead of Newcastle. So that 3 there is very tight. One of them teams could drop into the bottom 3. If Newcastle win, then Cardiff will drop into the bottom 3 tomorrow. If it ends as a draw, then it means that if it ends as a draw and Southampton lose, then it means Southampton will be in the bottom 3 by goal difference. So it's all to play for at the minute. And yeah, we're only into the 22nd game of the season. We have obviously, 38 games, so we've only got 16 games left. I think it's going to be one of those relegation battles when it comes to the last game of the season to decide which team goes down. Because I think Huddersfield at the minute, they're probably going to go down. A lot of people said that Fulham are going to go down. So I think it's going to be between Southampton, Cardiff and Newcastle as to who's going to go down and who's going to stay up, and it's going to come to the last day of the season, I think.
Yeah, Huddersfield, I think, they're already relegated, and then...
Well, not mathematically.
Fulham have already got 1 foot in the Championship.
Daz, do you think Middlesbrough will go up?
No.
No? Okay.
No, sadly not, because...
By the end of the season, but
Sadly not. As I say, well, I say that, but, I'm about 60-70% sure that we won't get promotion in a minute, but that might change come, if you ask me at the end of March, I could probably decide then. I think top 6 at the minute, well, definitely top 6, hopefully. Hopefully if we don't bottle it and do what everyone calls a Tottenham Hotspurs, but...
I think we will probably get promoted this year. Whether it's through playoff or automatic, I couldn't tell you. But I do have a feeling they'll get promoted.
As I say, it's tight in the Championship. It's the tightest.
Do you know what my prediction is? I predict Pulis will take his up, and then he'll get sacked.
A lot of people are wanting Pulis out, and I'm actually one of them. But that's mainly down to the December performances. But as I say, I mean, we're starting to find some form. So if we get to March time and we haven't really, we've only lost 1 or 2 games coming into March, then it might change my decision, because there was a couple of times where I was, that I've been Pulis in and I've decided to be, Pulis out and then in again.
I'm not myself a Borough fan by any means, but I do, in a way, follow the club.
Yeah.
But I do know that, but the way he's playing, it reminds me of Man United a bit under Mourinho, because...
Not as bad as Man United were under Mourinho.
They're not playing attacking football by any means. They're happy to go out there, play defensively, then just score a few goals on the counter. But when you do try and actually score and play exciting football, you do a very good job at it, and you tend to beat the teams 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
In some cases. So I think if he started playing a bit more attacking football, which he can, because he's got the quality players to do it, in my opinion, he'll probably be in a lot more comfortable position right now than where you are in the league.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah, there you go, guys. You've had it there. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you very much for joining me, lads.
Wait. I want to call someone out.
Yeah, go on.
I want to call up Mike Loudon. Mike, YouTuber, I'd say, for the past few months now. Dazzers football stands coming for you. 300 subscribers off.
Well,
I'll tell you. Yeah, you are, Daz.
mate, it took me 2 years to get 500 subs.
Yeah, well, you gained 100 in about a week.
Not in a week, I
You were
didn't.
on 413 subs. Now you're on 500. You're blown up, I'm telling you, mate. Mike, you won't be number one spot for long, pal. So I suggest you get on the podcast and save yourself. That's all I'm saying.
He'll love you for that. Oh yeah, thanks all very much for joining the stream.
Alex, talking to the Toon has something to say to you, Daz.
Beard competition.
What do you mean we're in competition?
Beard competition.
I haven't even got a beard, mate. I'm just getting hairs underneath there.
So, what is it then?
It's not really actual beard, mate, but...
What, so we're getting like, do you want like a bum fluff competition then?
I don't know. Anyways. Right, anyway, yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching this podcast. As we said, we are no longer paired with Fan Vibe. So, if you want to look at the podcast, it will probably be under a different name, which you'll probably see when this comes up in your recommended channel feed, I guess. So, fans watching and tuning into this podcast, will probably start making them available on iTunes. Thank you. Make sure you go and subscribe to Talk of the Toon, Dazzers Football Stand, and Rocksunic in the description. And thank you all for tuning in.
Yep, thank you all for joining. And for me, Dale Johnson from Dazzers Football Stand, and from everyone here on the podcast, have a great day. Goodbye.